Apologize for being late. Bengals were kicking a field goal to win the game. It's about the only three I watched go in today, at least on our team. The first thing I would tell you is we beat a really good team. You know, I know that they're a Division II team. They're not on ESPN, but Scotty does an amazing job with his kids. They run an offense that's very difficult to guard. The ball is hopping. Their players are cutting. Their 4s and 5s play more on the perimeter than they do the post until they get a mismatch. And I thought our defensive effort was terrific. I think, especially in the first half, the first 8 minutes of the second half was less than terrific. And, I was really pleased to see that, it's easy to defend, or easier to defend sometimes, when shots are going in and you're feeling great about yourself offensively. And that was far from the case in the first half with us shooting the basketball. I don't think that we're going to have many nights like that, but you give Bellarmine a lot of credit. I think we're a much better shooting team than we displayed, but our ability to sort of withstand our offensive struggles and still defend, I thought by and large was where it needed to be. Certainly haven't played, many situations yet in practice. The turnovers that we had down the stretch, the boneheaded plays that we made, it's more of an indictment on the part of the season that we're in, and hopefully we clean that up as we move forward. But we got to make better plays down the stretch, to secure wins. I thought Stephen Enoch played well. I thought it was like Gulliver's Travels for him in there, and just all those little guys, and he's trying to establish himself in the post. I thought Dwayne Sutton gave us great life off the bench. I thought Malik Williams, particularly in the second half, stepped up his play. And so, we'll try to learn from it. Like I said before, we played the game. My intention was to play it and learn from it, and that's exactly what we're going to do.
Coach, is CC already like you on the floor? I mean, I know you've only had him for a couple months, but does it feel like that? Seems like he settles everybody down.
Well, I think he has a calming influence. He's been a point guard his whole life. Certain guys, try to become point guards, but he's been that, kid that had the ball under his arm probably when he was 9 years old, and, organizing his team, whatever team he was on, grade school team, AAU team. So that's where he's most natural. But yeah, he'll continue to get better. He made a couple plays down the stretch that a point guard needs to do a better job. But the good thing is, when you show him film, he'll have that willingness to improve, and I'm confident that he'll continue to get better.
So it seemed like Bellarmine did a good job of keeping you guys out of the paint. They were really trying to close down, and it seemed like Sutton gave you a bit of a lift in the first half. What did he do to kind of help get things going on?
Well, he does what he does. He's very active. I thought he drove the ball. We had them with a lot of fouls in the first half. And for a while, once we got to 17 fouls on Bellarmine, which about 12 and a half minutes left in the first half, we didn't take advantage of it like we really needed to. But, he's a guy that can play downhill, a guy that, seems to come up with the ball in loose ball situations. He's just a winner, and he's not afraid of contact. And, we needed it today. Obviously, we weren't making shots from the perimeter, and that allows Bellarmine to, squash the lane even more. So it was nice to loosen him up a little bit with a few that we made. But being able to draw hand checks and get the ball reversed, and when we drive it in, we got to be stronger with the basketball. And it's a little disappointing because I don't know if a team's worked on it more than we have, but certainly got to keep working on it.
Chris, how surprising was it for you that Enoch was the one that sort of lifted the lid off the basketball?
Yeah. Well, surprising because, he doesn't take nearly as many as everyone else on the team, at least the perimeter players. Sometimes it becomes contagious, and for him to have the confidence in his shot was awfully good to see. We had some high-level shooters that couldn't buy one for a while. So, again, Steven's a very talented player, and, he was doing it with 5 and 6 guys all over him today. And, we got to do a better job of feeding the post in certain situations. But both inside and outside, I think he can be effective for us.
Is there a common element to Jordan's misses, and was there something you want to see him do differently? Was he taking the right shots?
I thought he was taking some pretty good shots. I mean, I felt like they were in the flow. I thought our guys were, he took one poor shot in the first half. The step back from 42 feet wasn't the shot we were looking for. But, you also want to have your players have a little bit of freedom. And as long as he's doing it with a selfless heart, the shots other than that one, hopefully we'll find the net. But there were a couple that I thought he passed up, and I don't want him ever passing up an open shot, and I don't think his teammates do as well.
Defensively, led the team in defensive rebounds and steals. Is that pretty much today what you want to see from him?
The defensive rebounds, yes. The steals, I'd be interested to find out for every steal that he got, how many that he didn't get that caused us to be out of position. And, that's just the transition from one staff that really fed itself on getting turnovers and deflections. Not that we don't want steals or deflections, but we don't want those to put us out of position when we don't get them. So I thought he was active on the glass, and we need him to be. Yeah, I thought defensively, yes. I thought we got a little tired. I thought in the second half our decision making, especially when we started to separate a little bit. Whether it's an entry pass on a set play, whether it's one-on-one in the open court, not picking it up before we dribble. There are just some plays that we're gonna have to show our guys on film, and they're gonna have to make the adjustment. That's when you have to, stretch the lead and not let it get narrowed.
How much better is, you talk about how good Bellarmine is, that the starting point is against a team like that and not a 25, 30-point blowout, and you've got it behind you?
Yeah, with about 5 minutes left, I wasn't sure how good of a notion that was. But, I'd rather test ourselves. I mean, certainly our schedule is going to do that. The tough part is they're a very unique team. I don't know how many teams we're going to see that their best shooters are at the 4 and the 5. They're posting up, multiple players. But it's a learning experience for our guys, and they have nothing to hang their head about. When I had a team, and we talked about it before we played this game at Xavier, that lost to Bellarmine under really, probably the same set of circumstances. We got up 12-14, and they evaporated that lead, and our guys were a little fatigued, and we didn't play well that way. So the most important thing is just learning from it as we move forward.
Chris, first time, I know it's an exhibition game, you coached a lot of games, but first time coming out as Louisville coach, any thoughts or feelings walking out there and being the head manager for the first time? Yeah, for about the first 4 minutes when we didn't have a basket, I was about to go sit up in the stands with my wife and kids. But no, it's special. I mean, I've said that any time I've interviewed, and it's one of the reasons that I'm sitting here before you guys is because, how much this place means to, all of college basketball, and certainly, the Louisville community and the university. So, yeah, I coach with a lot of pride, and we have to continue to get better.
BJ seems more comfortable posting up on the wing right now. Is that what you want to do? I know he had a couple too many turnovers today, probably as well.
Yeah, I think VJ didn't play very well. I know he was our leading scorer, but I don't define good play by how many points you score. He's got to make quicker decisions. Sometimes it's just that one more pass to the corner. He's got to be able to make quicker decisions, and I got to show him on film, and we have to show him on film how to do that. But he's a guy that will hopefully continue to get better and be versatile for us. I don't want him to be a guy who just stands around the three-point line. When he's decisive, he's very effective. And we have to get him a little bit more decisive when he plays offensively.
That stretch from him and start the second half, you attack the rim a couple times, hit that three. Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, the one play I thought was the two plays. I mentioned when Darius drove it and dropped one off, but also he sort of ran through Guy came off a ball screen and threw it back, and he sort of ran through the pass and drove right down the lane for a layup. And, you know, he's so athletic and he is quick, but you negate that quickness when you catch the ball, rattle it, and figure out, you know, what you want to do with it. You know, help defense gets built in. You know, you got to have quicker decisions, and I think that will help him be more decisive and be more instinctive. And we have to show him what we mean by that.
There were a couple of plays, first half especially, where Stephen, as I said, when the ball about defending, avoided that foul. Obviously, you're going to need him to play a lot of minutes this year. How much of that has been something that you guys have worked on in terms of keeping that foul trouble, but still ultimately effective?
A ton. You know, we've worked not only with Steven, but all of our guys of staying down. And Bellarmine's a team that will test you. And I'm going to say overall maybe a C+ out of our team in terms of staying down on shot fakes. And, you know, we had a few guys that were leaving their feet. And conversely, you know, then they foul. But I thought when we stayed on the floor and we bodied up and we held our position, thought some of those layups, you know, rolled off, and it kept Steven out of foul trouble. And just being a disciplined team and strong around the basket, Bellarmine's going to test you as much as any team that will play with shot fakes. And I thought, again, for the most part, that there were some guys that were really on it and some guys that got to get better at it.
Anything else for Coach? Good, thank you.
Thanks.
First half forward.